Hello everyone and welcome to Flying Dirty. If you're into aviation and you're like me and enjoy watching other pilots' vlogs and experiences, then consider subscribing after watching this video and give me a big thumbs up. This video will be about the Dynon HDX, about some of the features that I like and the ones that I don't like. But before we begin, let me tell you about the great exciting new expansions within Flying Dirty. First of all, thank you to all of my subscribers for supporting me, my family, and this channel. And several of you have inquired about shirts because they love the name and the logo design. And my very first 2 shirt sales were for Aaron, who happens to be from right here in the Denver metro area. And the second shirt was for Bob down in Florida. And a shout out to all of the pad crew at Kennedy Space Center. So thank you, Aaron and Bob, for being my first 2 customers. That is very special to me. I've also had many inquiries about the music production, and some wanted to know how to get their hands on some of the soundtracks. So due to all of the inquiries, I've decided it was time to make a new website for Flying Dirty, and it is located on the link below. Now, you can get your hands on the music, which is available for instant downloads, and upon purchase, they will be royalty free for use on your own YouTube channels or social media. And now you can also get your hands on shirts, hoodies, and other goodies. And because this is such an exciting moment for me and my family, we will be offering a 20% discount on the first 50 orders. Just use the special coupon code FLYINGDIRTY at the checkout to get your discount. So don't miss out on this special offer. And remember, we print the shirts right here in our studios, and there is no outsourcing. So let's put this family to work. My family and I would like to thank you from the bottom of our hearts for supporting us. You guys have been incredible. Let's get this video started.
All right, guys. So here we go. Let's talk about some pointers here. So, all right, let's turn the radio off because I've decided to fly VFR so that we can talk without interruptions. So here we go. So first thing I want to talk about is the Dynon Skyview, about the things I like and the things that I don't like. So let's go for it, guys. So one of the things I like about the Dynon Skyview is that this Dynon Skyview is extremely bright, very vibrant. It is very bright. You can see it even with the sun on my left. You can see that screen, no problem. But it's perfect for night flying as well. So that's one of the things I like about it. The other thing I like about it is the design. I really love this design of being able to rest your hands on it, especially when you have a lot of turbulence. It is actually, man, very helpful when you can rest your hands and just rest your hands and push a button, or rest your hands and and turn the knob. That is perfect because, again, if it's too turbulent, you don't want to use the screen. You just use the buttons. The other thing I like about it is that you can make your own checklist, your own maintenance list, and all that good stuff. Let's go into the menu, and then if you see down in the bottom, you have your tools. So these are the tools that you actually create on your own. So then the weight and balance. So you can also create your weight and balance for your airplane. And I created it just to see what it's like, but I just don't use it because I do my flight planning on ForeFlight. So I use the ForeFlight weight and balance so that I can do it from the house. And that way I know pretty much how to pack. So by the time I get to the airport, then it's all said and done. So then, let's go back to the checklist here, go back to the tools, and then right here I have my checklist. Now I do use this one periodically because I also have my checklist down at the left-hand side so that I can always see it. Instead of having to always pull out a checklist, I just printed them out and just put them on the left-hand side. But anyway, I do use my pre-flight, and then I also use before starting engine, engine start, and pre-taxi and run-up. Those are the ones I use from the Dynon because I find it very useful when I'm on the ground. So that's the way I do mine. But anyway, you can do your own checklist. So that's a pretty cool feature. So I do like that ability. So the other thing I like about it is the Dynon probe. So this little gadget that you see here those lights, those represent the angle of attack. So right now we're on the green, so that's pretty good. I mean, if you're in the green, then that means that, we're cruising right along and we're going very fast. But when you get into the traffic pattern, those green lines start basically vanishing. And once they start getting to the yellow, it starts beeping. It starts slow, and then as the angle of attack, as you're about to break your angle of attack, then it progresses, and the beeps get higher in intensity until when it gets to the red and you get near your angle of attack stall, then you will hear a solid tone. And that's usually what you hear when I'm landing, because some folks have asked me, what is that noise, that beeping sound that my system makes whenever I'm landing? That's what it is your angle of attack. It's very useful when you're flying IFR, just to make sure that you don't stall the airplane. And then it's also useful on the traffic patterns. That's what I noticed. So I do like that feature on the Dynon Skyview. The other thing I like is the how you load the airport and weather information. So the way you load the airport weather information, so let's go to flight plan. And yes, right now we have it set at Centennial. So you just basically click on Centennial, and then here you have all of your options for Centennial. Right there on the first page, it gives you your airport information. The airport elevation will be 5885, but then your traffic pattern altitude is on the right-hand side. So you want to go into your approach, if you're flying VFR, that is, you want to go into your traffic pattern at 6,900 feet. Okay, and there's your airport elevation. So you'll have some pretty handy tools on the very first page. And then here are the recent airports that I have loaded into the Dynon, so you can easily go back to one of those if you like. And here are your comms. Now, I chose to go with the Dynon comm. Okay, with the Dynon comm, I really like it. Okay. But if you need the weather information, you just click on ATIS, and there's your weather information. Okay, same thing. If you want to talk to ground, there's ground, but Colorado Springs doesn't have a ground. I mean, not Colorado Springs, Steamboat Springs doesn't have a ground, okay? And then here, you go through your nearest airport list. See, there's your nearest airport list from where we're at, and that's it. Okay, as a matter of fact, for now, let's go ahead and go back to our Centennial airport. So again, you just go ahead and load it. You just send the comm, and there's Centennial. All your comms are there. So to prepare ourselves, we're going to first get weather, and we'll punch that up to the top, and then we'll get tower, and then there's tower. So I have just that easy. I have my weather and tower, that easy. So when you're flying instrument, that is very useful. I love that feature about the Dynon Skyview. Okay, now, if that's not all, so here you go into menu, and then you go into comm radio, and then there's your comm radio right there. So you can control your radio right through the Dynon Skyview as well. And normally I use my comm radio down here, but you can also use this if you like. And again, the way that works is all you have to do is the same thing, is ATIS to listen to the weather, ground to listen to the ground, and you see how they're switching. Tower, you'll get tower, and then air traffic control, which is the departure frequency. It'll load them all up quickly. Now, one cool thing also that I like is that if you want to listen, this is really helpful when you're flying instrument conditions or IFR, because if you're under an IFR flight plan, when you start arriving at your destination, you have to listen to your weather information. So you can listen, you just push that button, and as long as you have it set on weather, and you're already talking to ATC, to air traffic control, by pushing dual, you'll be able to listen to both frequencies. Okay, so I do like that feature. And then to turn it off, you just simply click the button, and it shuts off. So I really love those features. Those are my favorites so far. And then it goes on to my engine monitor. So on the Dynon Skyview, since I didn't have a engine monitor already installed, I was going to get the JPI, but since I didn't have it installed, then then basically I got it installed on the Dynon. It is much, much cheaper. It only cost me $3,300, around $3,300 to get this done, to get the probes and everything hooked up. Because the Dynon Skyview, everything's built in the Dynon Skyview, so all you have to do is have an engine module, an engine monitor module installed, as well as your probes. And that is all it takes to activate the engine monitor on your Skyview system. And I love this because, as a matter of fact, now I can fly extremely precise with my fuel burn, and everybody knows if you have an engine monitor, that is the way to go. I've always wanted to get one, and I waited because I wasn't really determined on which panel I was going to go with. So I waited, and I'm really glad I did because I like everything being right in front of me. That is so cool to have everything in front of me. If you have a Cherokee 6, you know that it was driving you nuts whenever all of your instruments were all the way on the right-hand side. So you had to reach all the way up there to see your monitor, your engine instruments, and I didn't like that. I love the fact that they're right now in front of me. This is so cool. And then the other thing is that, let's say your cylinder temperatures and all that, once you're, see, like right now I have it on cruise, and I know darn well that these temperatures are pretty much set because I got my mixture set in my fuel burn the way I want it. And so I know I don't really have to mess with that. You know, I know these temperatures are going to pretty much stay consistent. So now I can shut that off and widen my map. There you go. So I like that feature as well. Okay. So the other thing I like about the engine monitor is that the fuel consumption, the fuel burn, is extremely accurate. That sensor is accurate. The other thing I like is that with Dynon, you get free aviation data. You get the database, the map, the base map with it. It is free. And then you also have the terrain. So let's go and zoom in. So you get to the mountains, and there it is. There's synthetic vision. So that's another thing I like, is that you get the synthetic vision with the Dynon Skyview automatically. Those are the areas that if you continue at this present altitude, you will strike land. So I like that, okay? Really like that feature. There is, of course, we have ADS-B going in, so there is some weather systems up north. So you've got the radar, of course. I love the fact that it's got traffic and weather. So that is absolutely awesome. All right, so okay, so your Avionics also has terrain awareness, but in order to continue or keep current on your terrain awareness, Jeppesen will charge you. So with this, it's free. So therefore, I don't need to get the subscription here because I have it here. Now, I do need my IFR subscriptions from Jeppesen because I do fly IFR. And in order for you to be legal in flying IFR, you have to have your charts loaded on your primary GPS. The other thing I like is that Dynon can control the true track autopilot. Okay, so Dynon has controllability of your true track. So right now I've got it on GPS. Okay, I've got it on GPS here on my Avionics. Now the cool thing, so right now the Skyview is synced with the Avionics. So right now, of course, it's going to say it is synced with the IFD GPS, which is my Avionics, and it's showing right now, of course, the same flight plan. And there you have the flight plan. Okay, what's cool about it is that if you leave it on GPS, what you can do is, all you have to do is switch it to Skyview. Okay, and then once you switch it to the Skyview, it switches to track. Okay, because it's no longer receiving information from the Avionics. But then you hit mode and it goes to Skyview. But the cool thing is that it also goes into GPS mode. Okay, it goes into GPS mode. Now, what's cool about it is now it's going to sync to the altitude. So now it's going to fly the GPS from the Avionics, but it's also going to sync to the altitude of your Skyview. Let's just change our altitude. So if we change our altitude to 8200, there it is. It just changed it to 8200. And then if we change this to the vertical speed to go down 500, see, now our altitude and GPS are synced. So the GPS is synced with the Avionics, but the altitude now is going to be synced with the Skyview. Here, let's go back to 8500. Let's go to 8500. Okay. There you go. So let's go back to 8500. And then there it is. It's going back to 8500, and that's it. That's all you have to do. I really like that. So you just saw that what happens with the GPS. Now, if you're being vectored, then all you have to do is take this out of GPS, and automatically it'll sync. So now it is actually working off track. Okay? So that's pretty cool. So if you're being vectored, all you have to do is change your heading, altitude with these two knobs. Now your vertical speed, you can go up here and change it, which is right up here. Okay, now I wish they had the knob that had the vertical speed here, but for some reason they missed out on that. So, but that would have been really cool if they would have put a vertical speed knob on that one. But anyway, I do like that. I like the fact that it is actually compatible, okay? So let's go ahead and put it back on GPS. And there it is. It switches back to GPS. I think that's pretty darn cool, man. Wi-Fi connectivity. Okay. This is a cool thing because with the Wi-Fi, with ForeFlight, you can actually, there it is. I have it on Skyview. So you can actually come over here in your ForeFlight, and you can get all of your information from your Dynon Skyview. So I like that. I like that. Okay. So right now it's showing my speed and altitude and all that good stuff directly from the Dynon. Okay. So that's I thought that was a pretty cool feature. So yes, I do like that. Now there's another reason why I like the Wi-Fi, because once I talk about what this does with the Wi-Fi, you're going to really like it. It is pretty cool. So I like the fact, because what will happen is this will take and receive the Wi-Fi from the Skyview, but then it'll also create its own Wi-Fi hub, so it'll transmit both Wi-Fis simultaneously to the ForeFlight iPad. And I'll talk about that on another video and show you how I do that. But it's pretty cool because then you can use the Avionics app, and then you can also use ForeFlight at the same time, and it works wonders. I really like that. So I'll show you how to do that some other time. So if I go into flight plan, and right now we are on Centennial, and let's go ahead and view this one. So there you go. So you can zoom in on your plates, you can zoom out, but the cool thing is that if I was doing an approach, it would be geo-referenced, just like ForeFlight. It would show up, your airplane would show up on this track, and it is pretty darn accurate. I really like it. So that's another thing I like about the Dynon, is that your IFR charts are geo-referenced. So that helps you a lot with your approaches. The other thing I like is your wind. It displays your wind, and of course right now I'm getting beat up by winds. So we're getting beat up. We're getting 33, 32 now. Knot winds coming almost head on. Okay, almost head on. The other thing I like is that, you know, it's got of course your wind, your heading, your course right here, has your density, altitude, and your outside temperature. So I really like that. So in case you're flying into the clouds, and for icing purposes, you have your temperature right there, right in front of you. So no excuses to fly into ice. Okay. So I like that. Now another cool thing. Now I'm only telling you what I like because the Dynon has so many features that I'll spend practically all day showing you what this Dynon can do. So I'm showing you what I like. So let's go into menu. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to go into PFD tools. Okay, and then now check this out. It has a G meter. How cool is that? So when you're in the turbulence, you can crank that G meter on, And man, that is pretty cool. And the reason I use the G-meter when I'm flying to the Rockies, when I'm flying to the mountains, since it can get, you can have a lot of mountain waves there and it can get pretty bumpy, I like to use that just to stay out of that yellow range. So that's pretty helpful, okay? So I really, really, really like that. So those are my favorite features of the Dynon Skyview, guys. So the things I don't like about it is that the autopilot is not available yet for the PA32 or Piper PA28s for that matter. Now, I don't understand why they made it available for the PA34, which is a Piper Seneca, which is basically the same airplane, the same airframe with 2 engines. So I don't understand why they did the Seneca, but they haven't approved it for the PA32. That would be pretty cool. Had they approved it for the PA32, I think I would have sold my True Track because it was still in the box. I would have sold my True Track and I probably would have gone with the autopilot from Dynon. And that is pretty much the only thing I don't like about the Dynon. I mean, I tell you, this display is just phenomenal. And like I said, it's got tons of other features, but those are my best features. Those are the ones that I really like the most. So if you have any comments, any questions whatsoever, please feel free to send me a comment. I'll be more than happy to answer your questions. But for now, let me focus on this approach because we're getting near our destination and I've got to start getting ready for my landing and all that good stuff. So we'll see you guys on the next episode. I think on the next one, I'm going to talk about what I like and what I don't like about the Avionics. So stay tuned for that. Have a great one, guys.
And with that, don't hesitate to leave a comment. And let me take this time to thank out all of my subscribers. Thank you, and please continue to share my videos with other individuals to make this channel grow even faster. And if you're watching me for the very first time, then support the channel and subscribe. And if you love aviation as much as I do, also give me a thumbs up. Until next time, take care, stay safe, and have a great day, my friends.